in my first area, this area was called Pflugerville, and it's a German name, as you can imagine. But it was just I think my third week in the mission field, and we were actually on exchanges. I was with the zone leader, and one of the zone leaders was with my trainer. In our own area, I was with a zone leader. Wait, yeah, okay. I want to get my location straight. I was with another zone leader in his area. The other zone leader was with my trainer in Pflugerville. And apparently they just got a referral from a member. And so when I returned to my area, me and my trainer went and contacted this referral. And he was golden, as we like to say. He was just ready to hear the gospel and things. And it was one of those perfect situations where it was just like, yeah, just teach me and I want to get baptized kind of thing. So he was one of our my first baptism on the mission, actually. His name was Jose Ramon Aldana, and he did speak English fluently. He was from Chihuahua, Mexico. But we taught him. 3 weeks later, he was baptized. And he, came to church and everything was good, and I left the area after a while. And then time went by, and I was in my second to last area, so I guess this was about a year and a half later about that. And this area was called Georgetown. And where Pflugerville is north of Austin. And then north of Pflugerville is an area called Round Rock. And north of Round Rock, there's an area called Georgetown. I was in Georgetown. And here is these members that used to live in Pflugerville. And he was in the bishopric, Brother Brockhausen, and his family. Anyway, he was in the bishopric, and we would go over sometimes to have dinner at their house and things. And this one time, we went over, and Sister Brockhausen was telling us that she had just been at a wedding reception for someone that she had helped come to the gospel, helped baptize, more or less. And I'm like, really? Well, that's wonderful. And so she started telling me the story about how when she was in Pflugerville, there was a woman that came up, and I don't remember exactly what the woman was doing for the Brockhausen family or anything, but she had a question about a sticker that was on their car, and it had a picture of a temple on it, and it said LDS.org. Well, a time later, the brother of this sister came, and he had the same question, and so Sister Brockhausen, when she was in Pflugerville, referred the missionaries to Jose Ramon, who was this person that asked. And the sister, of course, was Jose Ramon's sister. And I think a month or two before I got to the area, they had actually moved to Georgetown. But I got to the area, we got this referral, and we contacted them. We contacted Jose Ramon, and he got baptized and things, and he was in the church. And now, a year and a half later, I'm sitting here with the person that referred him to me. Sister Brockhausen said that she just went to this Jose Ramon's wedding reception, and he was married in the Houston temple. And knowing that he had stayed faithful in the gospel that he was worthy to go into the temple and that he was married in the temple, there's no better feeling, I don't think, for a missionary than to know that someone that you helped teach and baptize to bring them to the gospel has stayed faithful to that. And it was such an exciting time for me because while we were talking, Sister Brockhausen, she didn't mention a name or anything, but I started putting two and two together in my head, and I'm like, I wonder. And so I asked, well, she said that, yeah, he was, this tall guy from Mexico. I'm like, do you remember his name? Was it Jose Ramon Aldana? And she was like, I think so. Here, let me get the wedding invitation. And so she got the wedding invitation, and here was Jose Ramon Aldana with his now wife. And that's how I found out he was married in the Houston Temple. And it was a wonderful, wonderful feeling to know that he was still strong in the gospel. And I could only imagine that still 3 years later, over 3 years later, well, about 3 years later, he's still going strong in the gospel. He was that kind of person.